Welcome back to the Bryan Devore Connection. I'm your host, Bryan Devore. Right now, unfortunately, we have a lack of enough caregivers for people, and it's only going to get worse as the baby boomers are aging. Well, there's a great program offered by the Poway Unified School District that provides training for caregivers through the Poway Adult School. Here to talk about that program and the Poway Adult School is Miki Blanchard. Miki, thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Bryan, for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So when I met you at an event at a senior community, we were doing like a speed dating type thing, and all different resources, and you were telling me about this. I'm like, this is great. I need to get this out there because people need to know that there's available training and resources for caregivers. So let's talk first about Poway Unified School District's adult school and what that has to offer.
So the adult education program has over 200 different classes for the community, and then an offshoot also is the community or the career technical education, which trains people to take on careers with a certification. We have things like court reporting, we have a CNA program. In the future, we're looking towards expanding those ancillary medical services, but this home caregiver certification course fits in that career technical education.
That's great. So a lot of opportunities for people who advance their education, learn new skills, get back in the workforce.
They can take things from cooking to Zumba and everything in between.
Awesome. That's great. All right. So you and I were talking about the caregiving program. Came through a grant from CalGrows. Let's talk about that grant and what is CalGrows?
So the California Department of Aging has branched off into CalGrows, specifically CalGrows.org. And CalGrows provided a large grant to Poway Adult School to train and certify home care aides. The grant was received early in 2023, and it runs through August of 2024.
Got it. And CalGrows offers a lot of different resources. I went on their website. So many videos and training modules and so forth for people who are caregivers, need caregiving, et cetera.
Yep. Part of our mission is to educate the community and community businesses who hire caregivers on CalGrows. CalGrows does provide, as you mentioned, over 600 courses that anyone can take, whether you are an employed caregiver or a family member caring for a loved one. You have access to these courses through their website, and they're available in multiple languages, which is amazing, and these courses are free. For caregivers that are employed, there is incentive tracks to provide them with monetary incentives up to $6,000 for working and then continuing their education, and all that information is on CalGrows. So many businesses don't know that this is available to their staff.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so with that grant, you created this program to train caregivers. Tell us about the program.
So the program is 7 hours. The state of California requires for a skilled caregiver to go in and see a client. They require 5 hours of orientation training plus some additional training. So we built our curriculum based on what the state of California requires. So we provide 7 hours of training, and that 7 hours can be done via Zoom, which is a live class. It can be done via a live in-person class, or it can be done on a new platform that we have that we'll talk about in a minute that's called At Your Own Pace, and that's completely online. So the program covers what is required by the state of California. Plus, as we were developing the curriculum, we gathered community business leaders that hire caregivers, and we asked them, what do you need? What do you want someone who shows up at your door as a caregiver? What skills do you want them to have? And so that is how we based our curriculum.
So it sounds like a pretty robust program. And so caregiving companies can, if they're hiring someone who comes out of this program, they know they're going to get a very well-trained caregiver.
Right now I have about 15 or so businesses that have looked over our program, who have signed off on our program and are ready to hire our caregivers at a moment's notice. As you said earlier, there is a very severe shortage of skilled certified home care aides. Home care aides provide that non-medical supervisory type of care for people with disabilities, not just older people, but people with disabilities who need to stay in their homes or people who need help because of aging. So this program provides that training. Plus we also, because of the grant, the training is free, And those who are going to be working as caregivers need to be part of what's called the Home Care Aid Registry. So Poway Adult School covers those requirements, which is live scan, fingerprinting, background check. So we reimburse the student, or if it's a business who has maybe hired one of our students, we will reimburse the business for the costs of the live scan, fingerprinting, and the cost for the Home Care Aid Registry.
Wow.
In addition to those reimbursements, we also offer students, if they're going to be working as caregivers or are working, a voucher for 2 free sets of scrubs. We also offer them a voucher for the online portion of CPR first aid through the American Red Cross, and 2 additional courses that they can take at their own pace. One is a certificate in end-of-life care, and the other one is a certificate in gerontology, which is the study of aging. We also have a closed Facebook page for our caregivers to hold up and support one another, but then also to provide each other with resources.
Wow.
So our students have access to this list of companies that are hiring, and then they also receive a questionnaire in class that asks, do you want to be contacted by a potential employer? And so once a month, I'm able to send out a list of students that are interested in working to our employers, and they love that.
Yeah.
Like, they just received a list of 26 students that were interested in becoming caregivers. So I think it really is helping the community to find and hire these caregivers.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. And like you said, the At Your Own Pace program really helps people, you know, if they're working or, you know, they're taking care of a loved one, they can't just go to school, you know,
One
full-time.
of our goals was to make this program accessible for perhaps speakers that were not English primary language speakers. And so what we did is, the course is set up in modules, 14 modules. We recorded each of those modules. We recorded them and uploaded them onto YouTube. From YouTube, we put them on our learning platform, which is Canvas. So students, they register for the class. They have access to me through online Zoom meetings and, you know, email and anything else, but they take the course at their own pace through these modules. Because they were uploaded into YouTube, students have the option to change the language for closed caption in over 100 different languages, and they have the ability to slow down the speed of the video. So if English is not their primary language, they can still take part in the course. We also provide instructions on how to change your internet browser so that as they're taking the quizzes that unlock each module, they might be able to do it that way. And there is a real need. You know, we work with, at Poway Adult School, we have a really robust English second language program. And I've had a lot of students come through our caregiver program. I was able to speak to a couple of the classes.
And your students are also bringing in resources that they're finding out there for the other students that could make their jobs better, make their lives easier to help take care of people.
Yep, our students have access to resources from each other. We offer a resource page, community resource page. I feel the difference between a good caregiver and a really, really, really great caregiver is your ability to know what resources are out there in the community. So we have resources such as different meal deliveries, and caregivers don't know that a lot of these meal delivery services don't just offer meal delivery for the patient or client, but also for the caregiver, which is amazing. And we have transportation resources, we have support group resources, and just different types of resources that can make a difference in someone's life.
Yeah, that's huge. This is a great program. I'm glad we're doing this. We can get the information out. The information for the program and for the school are on screen right now as you're taking a look at this, if you're watching on video. If you are listening on a podcast, you obviously can't see it, but it's going to be in the captions so you can get more information about the Poway Adult School and this fantastic program for caregivers. Miki, thank you for joining me today and sharing this information.
Thank you, Brian, for having me.
My pleasure.
Sign up, everybody.